Welcome back. I'm Adrienne, your expert on all things custom home building and luxury. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend how much fun we're having over on the Frazier Homes channel. So the question is, what is the difference between an estimate and a quote? So an estimate is based off of a scientific analysis. Indeed, that is what an estimate is about. So we're taking data points. So we are considering what is the material going to be. In this instance, we're talking about a Frazier home and a custom build. So we're talking and thinking about the data point that is material cost. We are considering labor costs. We are considering the craftsmanship and millwork necessary for us to be able to complete your project. We are thinking about labor shortages. All of those things are data points in the overall estimated cost of your project. It could even be the estimate in terms of a timeline, how long it's going to take us to complete your project. So we're thinking of all of those things based off of those data points. And so when we run all of that analysis, we are able to say, based off of a scope of work. So if you will remember, we talked about specifications. Remember, specifications is the outline that we use or the roadmap that we use in terms of the scope of work. So based off of this scope of work and these variables, so variables are material cost again, labor cost again, the time that it takes to do a specific task, we're estimating X. We estimate that it's going to take X amount of time. We estimate that it's going to be this cost. So obviously, if you will remember, we talked about specifications. We'll link that particular video in the description box below. Specifications are very important. It is our guide. If the specifications change, that means that the estimated time and cost also changes. So when someone comes to your house, if you're not going to build a Frazier home or a custom home, and someone comes to your house and you have decided that you want to blow out the kitchen, you want to do a remodel, they are going to make an estimate or offer you an estimate based off of what they know. So what is going on with this wall structure? Do I have to do any demo? Do I have to do any reframing? All of that is going to be estimated based off of what they know. Now, when it comes down to a quote is a bona fide dollar amount that we are agreeing to based off of the original estimate. So the estimate gives us a roundabout. A quote gives us a final analysis or a final number. That final number is only based off of what is called out in our specifications or our scope of work. So if something changes, now that quote is null and void. So when we are considering how we're coming up with our overall design build cost, we are looking at it in an estimating approach because there are so many different anomalies. So another example for you to consider is if I am considering building a house in the year 2020. Well, lumber prices were significantly higher in the year 2020 than they are in the year 2024. So the timing of the build, it drives the cost in terms of the estimate. Once I give you a quote, that means that I have nailed down the cost. I have procured that with the subs and the vendors we've agreed upon, and now you have a quote that this is what your cost is going to be. Provided you don't make any changes, then this will be the number out the door for you if there's nothing that we discover. We need to talk about in another episode of what are some examples of things that we discover that we have no control over that might affect the cost. This is also a direct correlation with change orders. And so it is important as a consumer that you realize that when you get an estimate from someone, that doesn't necessarily mean that is the final number, because things are changing, commodity prices are changing, different subs are entering into the process, etc. You really want to make your final decision based off of a quote. And as always, it just is the best practice, and we want you to know the difference.